Joshua is currently on like a campaign of battles as they travel on their way. He is fighting and fighting and fighting. And finally, we catch up with him again. We're in Deuteronomy. We're going to be in 3. We'll hear about Joshua in 3:21, but I'm going to start in 20 and talk about how you, even in the midst of battles, even when everything is really coming against you, you can be reminded of the message that God gives to Joshua, and also this journey that Joshua has been on with God, because God is always with us and the battle always belongs to him, and we can often forget that because of our day-to-day and our living. So let's join Joshua and God in battle and find out what God has to say to us in our own battles. Until the Lord hath given you rest unto your brethren, as well unto you, and until they also possess the land which the Lord your God hath given them beyond the Jordan. And then shall ye return every man unto his possession, which I have given you. So we start with a reminder of the promise that God has made to his children, to those who are fighting the battles, who are going forth, even in the hard time. And then we hear as God reminds, I hear to Moses, reminding him of what he said to Joshua. And I commanded Joshua at that time, saying, Thine eyes have seen all that the Lord your God hath done unto these 2 kings. So shall the Lord do unto all the kingdoms, whether thou passest. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your God, he shall fight for you. And so in this is our message for today. When life gets really hard, when it feels like there are enemies all around us, when the grind gets to us, we are to remember that last message here in Dueteronomy 3:22. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your God, he shall fight for you. And what comes next is interesting, right? Because I'm going to continue on just a bit. If we go into next into Deuteronomy 3:23, and I besought the Lord at the time, saying, O Lord God, thou hast begun to show thy servant thy greatness and thy mighty hand. For what God is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to thy works and according to thy might? I pray thee, let me go over and see the land that is beyond the Jordan, thy goodly mountains and Lebanon. So this is Moses. Moses saying to God, God, and by the way, it's Moses, right? Moses of the 10 Commandments, of the Red Sea, God's friend, right? God calls Moses his friend, saying, hey, I really want to go over and see the rest of this journey through, Lord. Can I do that, right? This plea. And then God says back to him, but the Lord was wroth with me for your sakes and would not hear me. And the Lord said unto me, let it suffice thee. Speak no more of me of this matter. Because he's going to tell Moses, no, you're not going to go. Because I do love you and you are my friend, but you did things that I did not like in the order, and so I've chosen another to lead in your place. And that other who's going to take over and lead us is the one he says, you shall not fear them, for the Lord your God shall fight for you. Because what's going to happen here is in our journey with Moses and Joshua and God, Joshua is going to continue on. And that sometimes means that the people that have been with you on your journey, you're going to say goodbye to. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's all about God's will and it's about the work that we do for the Lord. And sometimes God asks us to follow and sometimes he asks us to lead. And this entire time he's asked Joshua to follow. And now he's asking Joshua to lead. And he says, do not fear, for the battle belongs to me. And that's your reminder today. The battle belongs to God. So go forth and do not fear in this world. Happy Sunday. Chatting at Cheesman. Happy Sunday.